Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a great show for y'all, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel, and be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So let's get into today's topic, man. So obviously it's going to depend on the order in which you're watching today's shows, but we just did a show that was centered on some comments that Kwame Brown had to make about LeBron James's effort to essentially create a league that's going to compete against the NBA. As you guys know, there was a picture that went viral this summer of LeBron on a yacht with Maverick Carter and Nikola Jokic's agent. And they were talking about big moves that were coming down the turnpike and next summer or whatever it is. And essentially, LeBron is trying to create a league that competes with the NBA. You have teams that will be able to travel to various places and play games, similarly to the way Formula One does. I guess they're going to give players an option to gain equity into that league. They're obviously going to be competing with the NBA in terms of also talent, because they're going to be poaching away some of the players that would have probably gone to the NBA, which is the league, but now probably go over to that league. So these guys are trying to be a competitor to the league. They're trying to raise $5 billion to kickstart this initiative. So it's a very serious thing, and the NBA itself is trying to expand its game globally. So you have that there. And Kwame Brown was essentially talking about how LeBron needs to be very, very careful about what he's doing and understand that this is a very serious matter. But in that show, he referenced something that Stephen A. Smith said, because I said it in the show that we did, where Stephen A. Smith basically gave us the genesis of where all of this started. Now, if you guys know, we've been witnessing some of the worst rated all-star games in NBA history, and many of us have been asking the question, how do you have a LeBron James participating in these games and there's just absolutely zero competition? It's like the guys don't even care. The year prior to this last one, it was the worst game ever in terms of rating. It was an absolute disgrace, and we got reports that essentially players like Larry Bird and others went to the locker room to try to give those guys a talk to really take the game seriously, and then LeBron James gave them a side eye, and then they went out there and just laid an egg, right? And then last year, LeBron shows up to All-Star Weekend, doesn't inform the NBA that he's not even playing. He shows up in street clothes. He takes a picture with the team in street clothes and just makes an absolute debacle of the entire event, right? I mean, it was just an absolute disgrace. So Kwame is saying that now that LeBron is planning on going against the NBA, he was saying he needs to be very careful of what he's doing. But I want to go back to where all of this started and why LeBron finds himself in a situation like this, where he's going against the NBA and creating a rival league. So what we want to do is I want to play what Stephen A. Smith had to say back in January about why the NBA owners are not going to let LeBron James own a team. Take a listen to what he had to say in January.
When you look at today's NBA culture, when you look at some of the hits NBA players take, particularly as we approach All-Star Week in the slam dunk contest that LeBron James never participated in, the flagrant, lackadaisical effort they put forth during All-Star Weekend, LeBron James way before all of that, deciding to take his talents to South Beach from Cleveland, and Dan Gilbert, the owner for the Cavaliers, had to find out watching the news just like everybody else, or watching him with Jim Gray just like everybody else. Those kind of things are the kind of, along with that player empowerment movement that LeBron has instigated, which people like myself clearly applaud him for, those kind of things, the flagrant manner in which he has done it, that has served to turn owners off, which you know all too well, Wendy. How good or how much does that serve to ingratiate him with them in terms of their support with him coming in as an owner? Everybody wanted that for Michael Jordan because of what Michael Jordan did for the league. Even though people like myself, you and others appreciate what LeBron has done in terms of his part, he's been a beneficiary of the sacrifices that the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, the Michael Jordan, and others have made. And there are some who believe there is an absence of appreciation on his part in that regard, which is why they would probably get in the way of him having an ownership stake, which would explain a story like this. That's what came to my mind with somebody like LeBron James. With all that they've done for the game,
it doesn't sit
why
well with
would
me.
they not receive the report? Because it's a good old boys club at the end of the day. And if they don't like you and they don't like the way that you've done business with them, they don't have to let you in. Or if they don't like the impact or the resonance that you would bring to that room, they don't have to let you in. Certainly, Wendy's absolutely right. It's about the money first. It's about the equity first. It's about business first. But my point to you is that all things being equal, would you be as receptive to helping a LeBron compared to somebody else that never played the game, that's got billions of dollars and obviously can afford to own a franchise? Chances are you're going to give him resistance because you've seen the league have issues with LeBron despite all he's done for the league, because in several instances, there are things that he has done that they've deduced is against their best interest as owners, as a business. They feel that way, whether it's accurate or not. They actually feel that way. And I know this because I have been told this by people who are in that room. And I'm sure Wendy has as well, because they don't feel, even though they know he's done a tremendous amount for the league, we all know this, there are other things that he has done that has not been helpful. And they know it, they feel it, and they point the finger at him for it. I brought up the slam dunk contest. They talk about that. We all brought up the lackadaisical effort that they put forth for the All-Star game on Sunday for All-Star weekend. You think they don't look at LeBron James? Larry Bird and Dr. J and them come in and talk to the team last year, and they think that they've touched the pulse of the players and all of this stuff. And then they say, you know what? LeBron just gave a side eye to everybody else. And the next thing you know, they went out there and allowed 400 points damn near to be scored, putting forth no effort whatsoever. It may not have been his fault, but they didn't view it that way. Yeah. And because they didn't view it that way, those are the kind of elements, those increments of things, those incremental things that could be problematic when you're asking for equity in a prestigious sports brand.
No,
that is the bottom line.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Just a month later, he then said, I think this was after the All-Star game, he alluded to it again as to why the owners are not going to let LeBron James be a part of this league. Take a listen to this here.
Since you brought it up, Perk, could you tell the audience why you think he did it on purpose?
I mean, listen, this wasn't just a sudden decision. LeBron James, this guy's like, when it comes down to routine and knowing what he's going to do, he's always on point. So when he announced yesterday that he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be participating today in the All-Star game," I said to myself, "Bro, you knew that way when they announced you as an All-Star." Like, I mean,
But why do you think he didn't tell us is what I'm asking you. Why do you think he handled it the way that he did? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, this LeBron James. I mean, this LeBron James. This is what he do. This is what he do. You know it. You know it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I get where you're trying to get, Stephen A. Like, what was the meaning behind it, essentially? So a replacement couldn't be named, or he was drawing attention to himself, or he was sending a message that, you know, he's bigger than the league. He doesn't need to be in the uniform. But, Perk, you're just...
Molly?
Yeah.
Molly, if LeBron James, regardless of his partners and stuff like that, if LeBron James, who obviously deserves to be an owner in this league someday, Shannon, Big Perk, Molly, if he doesn't get it, look at moments like this as to why that is. You depart from Cleveland to Miami, the way you handled it. You spoke up against the play-in, the way you handled it. There's certain things in terms of player empowerment, the way you handled it. Yesterday, the way he handled it. Make no mistake, fair or unfair, folks are going to remember that. Mark my words.
Great. So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? We produced a show recently where Doug Gottlieb said that the LeBron James doesn't give a damn about anybody in the league and all of this stuff. The fact is, it's been a mutual relationship between the NBA and LeBron James. He's helped the league has helped him. But now he's like, the hell with these guys. All right, if you guys are not going to let me become an owner, I'm going to go create a league that's going to be competing with you. And the reason that Stephen A. Smith outlined at the top of this show is the reason why LeBron is starting his own league. They're shutting him out because they don't like the way he has been moving throughout the NBA. They don't like it. They were willing to let Jordan become a part of the get a piece of the pie because Jordan helped elevate the league. He wasn't competing against these guys in the best interest of the league. LeBron was. LeBron ushered in the player empowerment. He stopped competing in all-star game. He didn't compete in all slam dunk contests and all. It just seemed like it was about him, right? And the owners didn't like that. They didn't like it at all, right? And if you're looking at it from the standpoint of owners, they're like, well, why would I let you be a part of this when you've been trying to screw us over the last 20 years? It makes sense. These are all human beings at the end of the day. People are going to hold vendettas against people. And I think that that's the reason why you see LeBron going against the NBA and try to start this rival league. And we're going to have to wait and see where this goes, because I think it's going to get interesting as time goes on. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next show. Peace.